Title: Visitors Report to David Goodliffe. David Goodliffe was the chairman of the Essex branch of the ICE in 2010. Subsequently, he was elected to the ICE Council in 2014 as a general member, as a regional member of council. Concerned about line safety on electrification and on the overhead line electrification on a site in East Anglia, in which undersized holding down bolts had been substituted by the contractor. He reported this to Network Rail, who took no action, and as a result reported it to HSE and did a whistleblowing hearing. Other instances, he was invited to provide other instances, and one of which was a fire escape at a control box for a level crossing, a power signal box extension for a level crossing. This was a helical staircase in which the headroom was insufficient. He also reported a platform extension at Faversham where the design was not in accordance with Railway Group standards. The engineer was pressured by Network Rail to sign this off, and when HSE put an improvement notice on Network Rail for the platform extension, Network Rail dismissed this other engineer. Network Rail appeared to be taking no action. Reports on safety issues, so he wrote to Hugh Ferguson of the Professional Standards Committee in 2010, but HF declined to get involved. There was also another instance in which Network Rail changed the temporary works design certificates that DG had prepared, involving a soil nailing of an embankment on Crossrail works at Shenfield. This was in 2017. DG had specified that a temporary speed restriction of 20 miles an hour should be put on the line while the soil nailing was carried out. But the local engineer, the DBE, altered the certificate. As a result of these whistleblowing actions, DG believes that Network Rail actively blocked pay rises and promotion. DG was a chartered engineer in 2001 and a fellow of the Institution of Civil Engineers in 2013. He worked for Network Rail from 2006 to 2018 as a project engineer, a senior project engineer, and a project manager. He feels he was entitled to better promotion prospects than this on both grounds of the responsibility he was taking. His fellowship sponsor was Derek Wolfendale, Rob Walton and Dr. Fiona Scott. In 2017, he wanted to leave Network Rail as he didn't want to find himself victimised and subject to constructive dismissal as the engineer Nick Jeffries, who'd been involved in the Hatfield incident. In 2017, he was invited to an at-risk redundancy meeting but the redundancy letters arising were sent to the wrong address. In the event, an official leaving date was set for the 24th of August 2018. Network Rail claimed it was dismissal, but on appeal, this was effectively changed to being redundancy, and for which he received redundancy payment and pension. At this time, he had a prostatectomy, which was paid for under Network Rail private insurance. He made an application, not being allowed legal aid. He made an application to the Employment Tribunal Service in October of 2018 for wrongful dismissal. ACES became involved and had a preliminary hearing instead. He was exonerated for any involvement on his part in the breaches of the railway standards. However, the hearing was wrongly reported, so a second hearing was cancelled as a result. There is a third hearing to be held on the 3rd of July. And the fourth and final hearing, 2020. He is claiming loss of employment, loss of promotion, with compensation that could amount to some £680,000. Presently, he has £4,500 in his current account and £8,500 in premium bonds. At the hearings, he requested help from. He requested information from Network Rail HR. That's Elizabeth Powell and Mary Deirdre Jenkins. At first, they declined to help. He also contacted Helen Samuels, the Network Rail Infrastructure Director and member of IC Council, whom he was friendly with and whom he had accompanied on a visit to the Crossrail Sheffield, but at which Network Rail refused to refund his expenses, amounting to some £57. On his